Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Life Literacy Right. If you don't know me, my name is Morgan. I am a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm also a Christian, and I share all kinds of different things about that on my channel. But today, we are gonna focus on something that I feel kind of passionate about because I've grown a lot in this area in the last year or so, embracing minimalism, and that is my closet. So if you want to hear about how I pick out my clothes, how I choose the color in my wardrobe, how I pick the right shape, and how I choose what to get rid of and what to keep, stay tuned. All right, so today I'm going to kind of give an overview of what I'm going to talk about, and then I'll break everything down. The first subject I'm going to hit upon is Dressing Your Truth and how I came upon that program and what it is and how it's like made an impact in my life. The second is kind of how I've embraced minimalism in my wardrobe and how that program and knowing what looks good on me has affected going out and buying clothes and minimalizing to literally what you see behind me is my wardrobe. And then the last thing is also not feeding into our fantasy selves and buying and making purchases for the fantasy self. So that's kind of my overview, and I'm going to break everything down now, so stay with me. I will try and provide examples of things as I talk about it, so we'll see what I can come up with. So let's start with Dressing Your Truth, because that's made the most impact on me. I have known for years kind of about color theory and that obviously certain things look better on certain people. I think as a teenager, I started to figure out certain colors maybe didn't look as good on me, but I didn't have like an overall format I could go to and say, okay, these are my colors, these are not my colors. And then I think I was probably in college when I found, there was one Christian like author, speaker who I found online who does a lot about like fashion and modesty. And so she had an option to help you find your true colors. And so like I sent off for her kit way back then, and she sent something in the mail. I actually still have like the swatches to this day. I have like 5 others of them that come in all the different colors. But she basically, you sent her a photograph of yourself and she looked and she saw what your color, kind of complexion, your hair color, all of it was, and sent you the best colors for you to wear and some general guidelines, right? So that concept was not new to me. However, I would say it was about last year, maybe a year and a half ago, I've been starting to embrace minimalism at the same time I found this thing. So I was on YouTube and I was kind of exploring that option of what colors would look good on me. And I saw on somebody's video, I have no clue who or where, about this website, Dressing Your Truth. It might have even been somebody in the comments mentioned it. And they said, you should go here to figure out your colors. And I had no idea what it was, so I go there to explore. And basically, and just, to clarify, I'm not affiliated with this at all, guys. It helped me. So there is this lady that has created this site, and they have a free test you can take that basically it categorizes people into energy types. So I took the test, and I found out, according to that, that I was a type 1 energy. And they have a bunch of videos and things you can watch through that give you examples of what to wear to support your energy type and the kind of things you don't want to wear if you're a different energy type. And so she also has like a whole style kit you can buy. I personally have never purchased anything from the program, so I never bought their style kit. The videos were free and they were enough to I got the concept and I got it and I ran with it. And it was the first time it was really put into words what my colors were and connecting it with my energy. And so they said, according to their test, I'm a type 1. And a type 1 is this it almost has an upward energy, like a bubbly kind of personality is I guess the best way to explain it. And they said that sometimes like we're kind of born with these energy types, right? But for a while we can live as a different energy type. So for, I would say like the years or the places where I've been sad in my life, I think I've been living as a different energy type. I've had periods of mourning and grief where I've kind of oppressed that bubbly personality, or it just didn't quite feel as right, but it is my most natural self. And so during those times I noticed, actually, yeah, now I realize that's when I found this, was coming out of like a season of mourning and realizing, I told my husband, I've been wearing a lot of dark colors. I mentioned that I had been wearing like some blacks, and I was like picking out things that were like maroon and dark. And according to this program, I should never be wearing those, ever. So it gave me a just kind of a rule book in my head to go by when I went out into the stores. And the best way they said it is that my type should wear colors, like if you were outside and you were in a bright sunny day, the vibrant, vivid colors you would see around you, the pinks, the oranges, the greens, the sunshine yellow, the white sky, the blues, those are the colors you want to see on a type 1. If it was a rainy day and all of those colors became like muted or more mellow or soft, then that is a different type of energy. I think that's like a type 4, no, maybe type 2. I'm not as familiar with the other energies because I really focused on getting to know mine. So that's my first tip is I would recommend, guys, I recommend it. Go to the site, take the free quiz, and find out what your energy type is. And then you can start looking at that color palette and know how to dress yourself. I'm gonna give you an example. So like in my wardrobe, I'm a type 1. So like this is a kind of purple, a color that I can wear. It's bright. When I hold it up to my face, it makes my face still feel lighter. It's got that like happy vibe, right? Whereas a type, I can't think of the exact type. I think it's like type 2. It's the one that's the softer woman. So there's also one that's for like really bold women that has like very like sharp angles and bold colors, like the hottest pinks and blacks and things like that. But the soft woman, when she's going to pick out purple, so I had to borrow this from my husband's wardrobe because I've now eliminated anything that's the wrong color from mine. So like he has this shirt, right? This is purple as well, but this is a more muted purple when I hold them up side by side. Like this one's bright and vibrant and brings out something in my face. When I put this near my face, it's not terrible, right? Like it's not horrible, but it doesn't make my face quite light up like this purple does. So this is a more muted purple for like a woman with a softer energy or a softer personality type. And so the whole program, it really made sense to me. And basically when I was seeking to minimalize my wardrobe, I could go through, and it was a little painful at first because I had accumulated a lot of dark clothes, guys. I think, again, I was going through mourning or just, difficult time in my life. I've had lots of those places, and I had accumulated a lot of dark stuff. But the thing is, I didn't feel fabulous in it, right? Like I was wearing it, I was picking it out because maybe I felt like I was supposed to feel that way, but it wasn't really true to my type. And it was when I started buying the colors that reflect me and who I am that really made me feel more like myself again. So it's amazing how something as simple as clothing, and guys, I understand this is outer stuff, right? Like this is not all who we are as a person. What matters most is the inside, but it's really nice when our outside can reflect who we are on the inside. And even as a Christian, like by knowing my energy type and like knowing what I want to convey to the world, when I'm wearing the colors that I feel like are right for me, I feel like it conveys to people that I'm inviting them into my space, that I'm welcoming, that I'm cheerful, that I want to help them. So clothing can say a lot, all right? It can say a lot. So that's the big one, is know your type. So I'll give you some other examples of clothing that I found like this in my wardrobe. So let's even talk, so I'm just gonna pull a bunch down. Let's talk about jackets. Like in the past, I might have just picked out like a neutral jacket, or a lot of the jackets out in the stores are muted. And then after knowing the Dressing Your Truth last year, I was out like on a date night with my husband. And again, purple. I guess I've been drawn to a lot of purple lately. I saw this jacket, and it was that perfect shade of purple that's like bright and vibrant and, you know, reminds you of that sunny day. And I think the fact I knew it was right is because I was drawn to it. Your type naturally, once you kind of learn about it, is going to be drawn to the colors. They're the ones that make you feel kind of your energy inside, like excited about wearing that. And so then I chose this jacket. And the thing is, once you find the things that work for you, the colors, you no longer have to have 5 jackets, all right? You're not putting each one on and being like, I don't feel great in this one, and then trying in the next one and the next one. No, I can minimalize to 1 jacket. And then the thing is, because all of my wardrobe is kind of along these lines, this type, things color coordinate. So like, I've got this blue shirt, and it's the bright, vibrant blue that I need to be wearing. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can find one in my husband's wardrobe that is the wrong blue. So, oh, this would be a good example. Maybe. Let's try. This one's probably good. So this is one of those, this is more like a teal. This is kind of like a muted blue. Again, it's not terrible. Not the worst. I could probably still wear this. But when I put this next to my face, let me move the black hanger. When I hold this up, that brightness, right? Like it makes my features pop. The idea is somebody with like type 1, they almost have like the eyes that like want to sparkle, and like their cheeks are really round because it's like they're smiling upwards, smiling with their face, right? But see, I could take this blue, things people may not think to coordinate, and I could put it under this jacket and it goes fine. Some other examples of these colors from my type. I've got like my basic types of t-shirts. So let me kind of scoot this back so you can see again. All right, so I've got like, here's a little bit more of a brighter pink that kind of pulls out my features. This is a peach color, so we can wear peach. But the thing is, Dressing Your Truth doesn't really like take away a whole like section of color. It just lets you know the right shades of color to wear. Because, you know, like I said, there's lots of purples, there's lots of blues out there. So if somebody gave you a program where it's like, oh, okay, you can wear blue. Well, there's 10 different kinds of blue. So the key is knowing your shade. And I really have found that sunny day versus rainy day metaphor to be very helpful for me. When I go into a store, this is what my mind does. I walk through the racks and immediately I do color elimination. If I don't see the colors I need, the vibrant ones that pop out at me, I pass it on up, okay? Like that has made shopping so much easier for me because I can just go in and like my eye can scan a rack, and if most of the colors are dark or dull or faded or, you know, that muted color, I know that I'm not gonna find anything in that section that I'm really gonna love. It's the brighter colors that make me pop. But if you were a different energy type, then you would be looking for maybe some of those muted colors. And right now, as we go into fall, that is the case. Like I go almost every store I've gone into, I am seeing the muted colors everywhere. And just because that's seasonal does not mean it's the right thing for you, okay? Does not mean that that's what you should be wearing. So that's my first tip, Dressing Your Truth. I could honestly do like so many more videos about this. If this is the kind of stuff that interests you, please let me know. Just comment below and I can make more explaining my choices. When I first did that program and I looked and I learned my colors and I watched their videos, the easiest way for me to practice this with very little money was just to go up to our local Goodwill or thrift store, right? Like most of us have a Goodwill or thrift store around us. And in those places, shirts are like $1. And so I set myself aside like a little budget, maybe like $10, $15. And I said, okay, I'm going to go up to the Goodwill. I actually even took pictures online when I still wasn't very familiar with all the right shades of the colors. So I snapped pictures online of what the colors are supposed to be. And I kept those in my phone. And I walked through the Goodwill rows and I just practiced. I looked and I was like, okay, I even did it one color at a time. I was like, I'm going to look for a yellow. I know that I'm supposed to have this shade of yellow. Too stark of a yellow does not look good. If it's too mustard of a yellow, it's not going to look good. It's got to be that perfect, like, light yellow. I don't know how else to describe it. And unfortunately, I actually don't have any yellow right now in my wardrobe. Because they did have a shirt that I loved, but it got a hole in it. So it's gone. I will have to replace something yellow soon. But I went through the aisles and I held up like my picture and I would pick out a few things. And then, I even took it. Ours allows you to try it on. I know right now you can't try on things in a lot of stores, but the good thing about going to a thrift store is you're getting it cheap. And so if you make a mistake, you don't feel terrible about donating that back. Okay, like it's not the worst. You're not losing a lot of money. And so I had some trial and error where I had to go through these stores. I had to figure out the right colors and I had to figure out what was best for me. And then once you know, you need to get rid of everything else that's not the right color. That's the big key. So I originally kind of did the experimentation and I didn't get rid of anything till I felt confident that I had found my colors. And have people help you. I would model it for my husband or my kids and I'd say, does this look right on me? Does this make me kind of like pop? Does it have a good vibrant color? And they would give me feedback on whether I had picked the right ones. And to this day, I just want to throw this out there. I still make mistakes. So I'm gonna pull one out right now. So about a month ago, I was just at our local store. I saw this like really soft sweater, okay? In the store, under the store lights, this looked like it would be a nice, vibrant, bright, sunny color. And you can probably already start to tell as I'm holding it up near my face. So it's an orange. And yes, there is a type of orange that my energy can wear. But unfortunately, I got home and I kind of put this on and it just wasn't quite right. Like, it's not bad, again, but I'm not in love with it. And if you're not in love with it, then you take it back. So I've got this in my bag to return here. It's gonna go out of the wardrobe. Don't hold on to stuff you don't love. All right, so tip number 1, know your colors. You can use Dressing Your Truth to figure that out. You can use other programs, but you really need to know your colors. That allows you to shop with purpose, with focus. And it really takes a lot of the energy that shopping sucks out of us out of the picture, because you can go in and you can feel prepared. The second one is know your body type and know the things that flatter your body type. So that's kind of an obvious one. For women like me, like I'm short, I'm petite, I'm 5 foot, I'm very well endowed in this area. I know that I have to have something that's like a scoop neck, a V-neck, a square neck, or a sweetheart neckline. Anything else absolutely will not work for me. Like if it's up top or like feels like it's choking me, it just doesn't look good. So even if the color's correct, if the cut is not correct, then you pass it up. See how much this eliminates? Like when you're going through the racks and you're like, I don't know what to buy. I don't know what's gonna look good on me. Before you even go to the dressing room, you can eliminate like most of the options. And it's okay. I'm gonna give you permission right now. It is okay to walk out of a store and buy nothing, guys. If you can't find it to fit your color and your shape, then you're not gonna love it. And if you don't love it, why is it in your wardrobe? That's the last kind of thing with minimalism, is every piece should be something you feel amazing in. You shouldn't really have any of this stuff in there because you have such a smaller number of pieces, right? So you narrow down to the things you absolutely love. So recently, like I said, I pared everything down. As a general rule of thumb, I do about kind of like 3 sort of t-shirt type of things. And then I think I have like 6 dress shirts for work. So where you work will affect your wardrobe. I get that. And some works have uniforms and there's no exceptions. So you would have a space for your uniforms. But for your general wardrobe, know what you wear regularly. As a mom, I wear t-shirts the most often. It's the most easy, convenient thing. So I want to have t-shirts that when I grab them, they make me look good because they're the right color and they feel soft, they wear well, and they stand the test of time, right? So I have that. I have my dress shirts for work. I only need a few pairs of pants. I don't need a lot. So knowing all of that. Okay, last thing I wanted to talk about was not, and I know this video has gone on and on. So again, I don't know how much of this will appeal to you guys. I don't know if you want me to talk more on a certain part of it. Just let me know. I have a lot to say on this. The last is not buying things for your fantasy self. This is probably the hardest one, right? We all have this idea in our heads of some of the things we wish we could be or wish we could be doing. And I'm not just talking weight. So let's start with weight, okay? Let's say you're a little overweight. I, of course, am in a place right now where I feel like I'd be way more comfortable losing a few pounds. But the reality is right now, I'm a working mom of 3 children. I'm doing the best I can to get towards a goal weight, but that's not gonna happen overnight. And the rule I've set in my head is do not buy clothes for that fantasy self down the line that you want to be with that weight or whatever. Buy the clothes that fit you now, that you can grab from your wardrobe, that you feel good about. If you have that fantasy self clothes, first of all, in a way, you're like wasting your money, right? God gives you only so much money, and he wants us to invest it in things that are good and purposeful and that are used in the time that we have. And so for the time being right now, you use the things that you can actually use, like pay for those things. Otherwise, it's kind of like in the Bible, there's the parable of the talents, where God gives each of the different guys different amounts of talents, which is like a biblical word for money. And 2 of the guys, they invest their money, but one of the guys buries his talent in the dirt. And in the parable, Jesus says, like, when the master comes back, he scolds him. Even though he thought he was being safe and good with the money, Jesus is like, why did you bury it? These guys invested it and had return for their money. So I'm going to challenge you guys that right now, if you have things in your wardrobe that you're not wearing, it's like you're the guy burying the talent in the ground because you're burying your money in your closet. You're literally burying it in there. And you might say, well, I found this on clearance. It's like 20 cents and it's in here. But if you're not wearing it, I'm going to challenge you. Like, if you wear that 20-cent clearance item, that's amazing. Keep doing that. If you don't wear it, it's in here when it could be blessing someone out there, right? God gives us each so many resources, so many finances, and we can either be using it for ourselves or giving it to others. So if you have things in here that you're not using in a way, you are taking it from someone out there that God could be using you to bless with. So don't buy things for that fantasy self, that self that's skinnier. Also, the fantasy self that does things that you don't, okay? I've heard people say, like, when they're trying to minimalize, like, oh, but I have this ski suit that's, been in my closet for 10 years from the last time I went skiing, and it's so hard to get rid of it because it was expensive and it's this amazing ski suit. And what if I go skiing again 5 years down the line? If you regularly go on vacations where you knew you would use that, that's one thing. But if it's been a long time and again, somebody else could use it and you have not used it in the last year, I'm going to put that as like our parameters, then it's a fantasy self and you've got to let that go. Maybe at one time you embrace that hobby or that thing, you move on. If you see yourself as a person that walks down the beach in flowing dresses, but you don't live near a beach. You live in a freezing climate, okay? And you know that when you go to walk outside, the stuff you're gonna grab every day is a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, probably a sweatshirt, and like pants, and you're never gonna wear those dresses, and your closet's full of those dresses, okay? That means you're living a fantasy self. If you have these like glitzy, glammy dresses for like a night on the town in like New York City, but you never actually go out and wear that dress, or when you go out, you wear something different, then you're holding on to things for that fantasy self, that what if, right? So, you know, we all need a couple dressy items in our wardrobe for those weddings that often pop up, for the just fancy events. Do you need 5 of those dresses? No, right? We've got to learn to understand how our clothes reflect our inner selves, like our fantasy self, and what we can keep and what we can get rid of. All right, I'm gonna try and kind of summarize all that. So when I'm picking out my wardrobe, I'm looking for first, color. Second, I'm looking for the cut. Now, you know, in my 30s, I know the things I like. I like 3/4 sleeves. I don't like anything sleeveless, because you get to know your self-conscious spots, right? You know the things you don't like. So color, cut, and then is it trying to appeal to my fantasy self, or am I buying an item I actually need and will wear? I don't know if I said that, but when you minimalize, you know exactly what you have. In fact, you could even take a picture of your closet and take it with you when you're shopping. So like today, I was looking specifically for a pair of black pants because I had one pair and they got a hole in them. And I knew that this was not a repairable hole. So I said, okay, I'm going out, I'm shopping for exactly that. And you replace it. You take out the old, you put in the new. So that is so important here. And then the final thing is just have grace on yourselves in this process of trying to minimalize, because it can be really sensitive dealing with the things that maybe we're self-conscious about, letting go of some of those fantasy self-images. But really it's about embracing the clothes that make you feel good, that you love now. But have grace, you will make mistakes. You could be a year out like I am and still make a mistake. So let me show you one more mistake I made just to kind of drive this point home. So I enjoy Target like most women do. I love it, and I get sucked in the lights and the beautiful things. And I knew I needed a long sweater for the fall coming up, right? So they had some out, and I found this one. And I like it. It's comfy. It's a nice long sweater. And of course I purchased it, and I got home and I thought, you know, I really kind of like it. And it's not terrible. I'll kind of show you guys, like it's not terrible against my complexion, but I could tell there was just a little bit of it that's kind of muted, right? It's a pink, but it's a muted pink. And I thought, I don't know, I thought somehow like I could break the rules for myself and that like the muted would be okay. So maybe you see now, even as I've put like this sweater on, the muted pink color. But I want to show you the difference of sticking to the rules. So earlier at the intro of the video, I was wearing a pink scarf, okay? This is more of the pink that my complexion needs. And so I'm gonna kind of like take half of this off. I'm gonna put half on here. So this half brightens my face, brings out what I need. I'm gonna go ahead and like pull this off here. Let's just wrap it around. All right, so like this pink is the brighter pink I really needed to be aiming for. And so even though I've gone this far, don't bend the rules, guys. Just don't do it. I got the one pink. I'm probably gonna still wear it because I don't wanna waste my money. Or at least wear it until I find a replacement. Because that's the thing. When you break the rules, really, you buy stuff that once you put it on, you kind of realize like you don't feel that great in it. And if you get home or you get in that dressing room and you don't feel 100%, okay, you're not like, this is fabulous, this is making me feel like myself, my energy type, my glow, Do not bring it home with you or return it. Return it, all right? I wish I had not thought I could break the rules on that sweater. That's like a regret for me. I wish I had stuck with my gut with what pinks I need. So, have a reference sheet when you go into stores. Okay, I hope that covers everything. I know I've gone for like 30 minutes and there's a lot to be said on this. So let me know in the comments if you want to hear more. Oh, one last thing I did not mention. My type has been told not to wear black, okay? So type 1s are not supposed to wear black because it darkens our face. If we are gonna wear like the darker color, they tell us it has to be in brown, all right? So I say that as I have a black sweater behind me, and that is one again, like having that grace for myself, I still struggle to get rid of it because I'm like, this is a black sweater and it makes your arms look slim and you put it on. But I do believe there is some truth to it because every time, guys, I grab this sweater. Okay, so look at me without it. And then let's put it on. All right, it's not terrible, but the idea is that black near my face makes me look whitewashed, okay? It can wash me out because I have this fair complexion. It's not gonna make me pop like some of the other colors. So I've kept this in my wardrobe because I found there's some exceptions around the rule. Let's say you really like it, like on the edges here, you like how it like silhouettes you. The key is to get the black away from your face. So if I was gonna wear this and go out, I would take a scarf that has color. Let me just like adjust this scarf real quick. That has the color that looks good with me, and I'd put that closest to my face so that the black is not what you're seeing there, okay? You're seeing the pink or the purple or the yellow, and it brightens it up. Let me give another quick color example. Sorry, I know these examples take time. I hope these help though to see the actual colors. So like here's another bright color that looks really good on me, this teal, just very, I call it, so it's funny. Another way I help my brain remember what looks good on me is I call them mermaid colors. So my type 1 looks good in like the seafoam greens and the purples and the yellows and the stuff you'd almost find in like an underwater aqua environment. So like here's another example of a scarf. I love scarves that I can, and I keep a couple. You don't have to have like 20. I have maybe like 5 scarves, right? And I can switch those out. And that's another way you can have a minimalist wardrobe but change the look of things. So now I will conclude. I know that's been a lot. Thank you guys for staying with me. I'm gonna close us in prayer, and hopefully God can use this to bless you in some way, either to inspire you to minimalize your wardrobe or know your color, know your type. But my wish is that every single person watching this video would have a closet full of clothes, minimalized but full of the things that make you feel fabulous, okay? You are worth that and you don't deserve any less. So, Jesus, I pray for the women watching this today, or even if there's a man watching. God, I thank you for just the things you've put in my life to teach me these concepts. I know that you look at our hearts. I know that you care what's within. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to work on both, God. That as I work on the inside, I can also have that reflected on the outside. That the colors and things I choose can most reflect who I am and who you made me to be. Your word says that you knit us together in our mother's womb. Every day that you have planned for us, God, has been mapped out. So I just thank you for that. And I thank you that we are known intimately, Lord. And I pray that anybody watching can get some information from this that's useful. And I also pray, God, that they can get to know you and have a relationship with you. In Jesus' name, amen.